cry. I don't want to cry. It's heartbreaking when the only time someone reaches out is when they need something or when you do. That kind of one-sided connection starts to eat away at your peace. You realize that if there's going to be any effort to repair the relationship, it's always going to have to come from you. And that's what hurts the most, because for years, you were the only one trying. You were the one holding the bond together. You believed in something special, something worth protecting. But now, you're left wondering why someone would say they want a relationship, only to disappear for months without a word. Hey besties, it's Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is one I didn't expect to hit so hard, but it did. And if you'd followed Mary Brown and her journey on Sister Wives, this update is going to mean something to you too. So let's start here. Recently, Mary and her best friend Jen shared a video online, a lighthearted, cheeky little skit about salty birches, with Mary joking about being an ex-polygamist and Jen chiming. And as a monogamist who believes in therapy, it was playful, funny, even charming in a way only those two can pull off. At first glance, it seemed like classic Mary and Jen content. But what most viewers didn't realize was the immense weight behind the laughter, and the reason Jen had been quieter than usual online. If you know anything about Jen, you know she's been by Mary's side for more than a decade. Their friendship started in Las Vegas under the most unexpected circumstances. Jen was working as a bug exterminator, and Mary had hired her to handle a pest issue. From that mundane beginning grew a deep and lasting friendship, one rooted in trust, loyalty, and genuine care. But Jen didn't just show up for coffee dates and fun Fridays. When Mary's mother passed away, leaving behind the Lizzie's Heritage Inn in Perowan, Utah, Jen didn't hesitate. She uprooted her entire family, her husband, her 2 kids, and moved across state lines to help Mary run the inn. She became the manager, the backbone, the steady presence Mary could lean on. How many friends would go that far? Not many. But Jen did, and she did it without fanfare or expectation. Just love. So when Jen dropped some unexpected and emotional news recently, fans were gutted. For those who remember, Jen and Mary used to host Friday Night with Friends, a cozy live stream series that had built its own little corner of the internet. But earlier this year, Jen stepped away. At the time, she explained she was dealing with family issues, something private and personal. Some quietly speculated it might be health-related, possibly even cancer. But Jen didn't confirm anything until now. Yesterday, Jen shared a post that left many speechless. It was a photo of her and her husband, Shawn, taken on their 19th wedding anniversary. And in her caption, she finally opened up. That photo, she wrote, was taken just before Shawn began treatment for sarcoma, a rare and aggressive form of cancer. Since February, he's endured 5 weeks of radiation and 2 major surgeries. One of those surgeries removed a 3rd tumor that had silently grown just outside the area they had targeted with radiation. That's the terrifying part of cancer, how quiet it can be, how it grows when you're not looking. Shawn's recovery, Jane said, has been long. It's been painful, but little by little, he's regaining strength. He's getting back to the shop. They're adjusting. They're surviving. And they're asking for patience and prayers. Jen shared that they chose to keep the diagnosis private for the sake of their children, giving them space to finish out the school year without fear hanging in the air. But now, with hope slowly blooming again, they've decided to open up and say thank you. Thank you to those who showed kindness without knowing the full story. Thank you to those who checked in, who offered prayers, who loved them through the dark. And with July being Sarcoma Awareness Month, they wanted to share not just the pain, but the hope, the resilience, the fight. Mary responded to the post with a simple, heartfelt message. Love you tons, guys. And for anyone who's ever walked through the fire of cancer with someone they love, that hits different. I know this story intimately because my own husband has gone through cancer treatment. And let me tell you, it changes everything. Your entire world can flip in a heartbeat. One minute, your partner is your rock strong, steady, uncheckable. The next, you're praying in waiting rooms and memorizing medical terms you never wanted to know. Sarcoma is especially terrifying. According to the Mayo Clinic, sarcoma refers to a broad group of cancers that begin in the bones or the soft tissues of the body. That includes muscles, fat, nerves, tendons, blood vessels, even the lining of joints. It's insidious because it can start almost anywhere. And because these tissues are so essential to the body's structure, sarcoma can be especially hard to treat. But what makes it even more difficult is how easily it can go unnoticed. A lump beneath the skin that doesn't hurt. A sudden break in a bone that had no warning signs. Belly pain. Unexplained weight loss. And behind all of it, the real villain. A cellular mutation that tells healthy tissue to keep growing when it should have stopped. That's what forms tumors. That's what invades. That's what destroys. And when I heard Jen's update, it brought back a flood of memories from my own journey. The fear, the questions, the nights where you lie awake asking, what happens next? Cancer isn't a straight path, it's a maze. Even when it's gone, it's not really gone. It lurks in the back of your mind with every checkup, every scan, every strange new ache or pain. And the treatments, they can be brutal. My husband had to rest more than he ever had in his life. The energy gets drained out of you. The person you knew, the vibrant, active version of themselves, starts to fade behind surgery scars and medication side effects. That takes a toll not just physically, but emotionally too. Depression, anxiety, isolation, all of it becomes part of the new normal. So hearing that Jen has had to walk this same road while still being a mother, a wife, and a friend, it broke my heart. But I'm also so incredibly grateful that she has someone like Mary, because in times like these, it's the people around you, the real ones who carry you when you can't stand on your own. Soft tissue sarcomas are a category of cancer that most people have never even heard of until it touches their lives. These cancers can begin anywhere in the soft tissues of the body, muscles, fat, blood vessels, nerves, tendons, even the lining of joints. And what makes them so dangerous is how quietly they develop and how quickly they can spread. There are many types of sarcomas, each with its own complexities. They can appear almost anywhere, and that makes diagnosing and treating them especially difficult. Treatment plans aren't one size fits all. They depend on the type of sarcoma, the location, how advanced it is, and the health of the person fighting it. It's not a predictable path, and there's no clear roadmap. The warning signs can be subtle. A lump beneath the skin that might not hurt, a sudden bone break with no apparent cause, chronic belly pain, unexpected weight loss. These signs can be so easy to brush off until they're not. At its core, cancer is a malfunction at the cellular level. DNA, our body's instruction manual, goes rogue. Instead of telling cells when to grow, divide, and die, cancerous DNA tells them to multiply endlessly. The result? A mass of cells that doesn't belong. A tumor. And these tumors can do real damage, invading healthy tissue, destroying organs, weakening bones. They don't ask permission. They just take. Hearing all of this, my heart aches for Jen. Sarcoma is an especially cruel type of cancer because of how aggressive and invasive it can be, especially when it's rooted in soft tissues or bones. It's not just about the diagnosis. It's about the uncertainty that follows, the fear, the exhaustion, the helplessness. I'll be honest. I don't know anyone personally who's had sarcoma, but I did have the loved cat who battled it. And while I know that comparison might seem small to some, the reality is watching any living being suffer with this kind of cancer leaves a mark on your soul. My cat was 14. He had a lump under his eye that slowly ran along his jaw. He drooled constantly. His breath was terrible. And when the vet did a scan, the news was devastating. It was sarcoma, aggressive, inoperable. We did what we could, but it was clear how relentless and painful the disease was. And that's just a pet. So imagining what Jen and Shawn are enduring now, it's gut-wrenching. What makes it even harder is that Shawn is still so young, and so is Jen. They've got children, they've got dreams. And now they've got this enormous weight pressing down on them. I can only imagine what Jen must be carrying every single day. But through it all, I'm so grateful that Jen has a solid support system. She has Mary, and we all know, despite everything Mary has been through, she is fiercely loyal. I have no doubt that she's standing by Jen's side, helping however she can, whether that's emotionally, physically, or even just being present when it matters most. It also makes complete sense why Jen has stepped back from the spotlight. Her lower profile online isn't about pulling away, it's about surviving, healing, taking care of her family. And honestly, her strength in doing that is nothing short of admirable. As someone who's been through the cancer journey with a spouse, I can tell you, it doesn't just change your daily life. It changes your soul. There's this moment where everything feels like it's spinning out of control. Your strong, dependable partner, the one who holds you up, is suddenly the one who needs holding. You see them differently. Not weaker, just more human. And you live in this space of fear. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't predict the outcome. And even if treatment is going well, the looming shadow of what if never really disappears. You try your best to focus on the positive, to stay grounded in hope. But some days, it's hard. Staying positive isn't just about being optimistic, it's about survival. It's about protecting your own mental health so you can be there for your partner. Because when you let yourself fall into the darkness of fear, it's easy to get stuck there, and no amount of worry will change the outcome. That's something I've had to learn firsthand. You can't control everything, but you can control where you put your energy. And hope is always worth the effort. With my husband, we were fortunate that the tumor could be removed. But even after surgery, the worry didn't vanish. Every 3 months, we go through the same nerve-wracking process, more scans, more waiting, more questions. And the reality is, recurrence is a real possibility, so we prepare for that too. That might mean future radiation, chemotherapy, or more surgery. It's a cycle. And every couple that goes through this understands. And it's not just the physical toll. The treatments themselves can rob a person of their strength, their energy, even their spirit. My husband had to spend so much time resting, he couldn't be his normal, active self. And that kind of change, it doesn't just affect the body. It affects the mind, the fatigue, the frustration, the creeping depression, the isolation. That's why support is so vital. Not just for the patient, but for the entire family. And thankfully, Jen and Shawn have that support. They have Mary. They have friends. They have people checking in, praying, sending love, even when they don't have all the details. That kind of love matters. And I truly admire Jen for her honesty, for her bravery, for sharing this chapter of her life, not to invite pity, but to raise awareness. Because you never know who's listening, who might hear this and realize that weird ache I've had. Maybe I need to get it checked out, and if sharing her story saves even one life, that's powerful. This journey she's on, it's overwhelming, it's exhausting, but she chose to share it with grace. And for that, I'm proud of her. I hope her story spreads awareness. I hope it inspires someone to listen to their body. And more than anything, I hope her family gets the recovery they deserve. A long life, a peaceful one, free of recurrence, full of joy. Jean's absence from Friday night with friends makes complete sense now. And her distance from social media, it's not silence, it's strength. And while I'm not sure if this journey will ever be shared on Sister Wives, I'll say this: Jen is a welcome presence. She brings light, she brings humor. She brings balance to Mary, especially in moments when Mary might not see the full picture. And honestly, every Mary in this world deserves a friend like Jen and a partner like Shawn. So now I turn it to you. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your perspectives down in the comments. If this story touched you, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. So now I turn it to you. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear your perspectives down in the comments. If this story touched you, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.